when I see all my friends talking about how funny it is, and it's just like, ooh, like flies are attracting to or fly are attracted to shit, like that's some sort of like gotcha moment. I'm just like, flies land on people all the time. This is ridiculous. Like there's so many more important things to. That's just me. However,
well, Misha made the joke once and then he let it go.
I know,
well, it's because Pence kind of looks like he's dead anyway, or like definitely dead inside. He has that like, I don't know, like alien robot thing going for him.
I know. I am, however, as always, really excited to see Maya Rudolph as Kamala.
Oh yeah, that should be great.
I really hope they have her say, I'm speaking. Of course
they will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Oh, of course they will. She's so fantastic as Kamala Harris. So I can't wait to see that. Yeah, that's gonna be fantastic.
They both came off as surprisingly surprisingly unreal up there. You know, everything that they said just felt so scripted, and like they've got to like kneel down and talk to the little boy who told his story, and it just felt very unreal.
Yeah, I mean, well, Pence feels always.
Pence is always robotic.
Pence is a robot, but then like Kamala Harris just like comes off so smug and condescending sometimes. So it's really it's not
even that would be better than just the real robotic. Just like I can't feel like any life coming off of these people.
Yeah. I
mean, I was excited by Kamala Harris, but I think that also comes from the fact that that I was excited. It comes from a perspective of being a woman, that I was excited to see a woman telling a man to shut up for once in their lives.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was probably like the highlight, but I mean, you saw me, I was like falling asleep through the whole thing.
You were meditating?
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't very engaging, but I mean, maybe
have that or what happened with Trump and Biden.
Well, this is the problem with our two-sided system is these extremes, not even extremes. It's just like two choices, and they're not always good choices.
It's what we have.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't foresee, unfortunately, I don't foresee that situation changing anytime soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it could, according to what's been happening on the local level.
Maybe locally, but not on a national level. I don't foresee that changing anytime soon.
That's how it starts, though. That's the pipeline, right? These people on the local level don't stay local; they move up.
But we got to keep in mind that takes time.
Yeah, well, it does, but I mean, we have to, precipitate this change. We're not just accepting things as they are. We really.
Well, no, but to me, not accepting things as they are, meaning, I don't see the purpose of complaining about the two, and I'm not saying you're not, obviously, because that's basically what you do all day for work, but in general, I see complaining about the two-party system as being not helpful without action behind it.
Yeah, well, so I had this issue with my ballot again. I don't know if you remember the issues I had last time with in-person voting.
Well, there were issues. Yeah, there were issues that happened all over Brooklyn. My mom actually texted me a couple of weeks ago telling me to tell my students to watch out for it if they lived in Brooklyn.
What, the same issue that I had?
Yeah, with the misprinted ballot.
Yeah, so I take time today. I have to wake up earlier today because we had some union negotiations at like 10:30. So I ended up filling out my ballot again when I got the second ballot, and then waiting until after negotiations to go find another stamp. First of all, I called the number on the bottom of that sheet, and of course, no one answered.
Shouldn't the postage be prepaid?
That's what I'm saying. Of course, it should be prepaid. And then it's like I already wasted a stamp because they screwed up. It should have been prepaid the first time. It should have been prepaid secondly, definitely the second time after their screw up. But that's not even the worst part because, like, you know, what some
But it
people
was
charge.
prepaid for the primary, I think,
It
because I don't
was.
remember having to put a stamp on mine.
It was prepaid for the primary. Yes, it was. So besides, like, you know, spending 65 or 75 cents for a stamp, whatever the particular store decides they want to charge for it, of course, all the stores are out of stamps. This is probably like only the second time I bought a stamp in years. Like, I just don't need stamps. I just don't.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I used a stamp.
Yeah, like even if I mail something, I just like pay for the postage. Like usually.
But like whenever I mail
in a
something,
center.
like whenever I actually have to mail something, like usually it's like priority mail and I pay for it in the post office, or like
Yeah, I pay for it at
it's
the post
prepaid.
office, even if it's not priority, right? So places are running out. Places don't have stamps, and then the one place that does have
Not
a
even the
stamp,
post office?
I didn't go to the post office. I was around my neighborhood. So, anyways, places did not have stamps. The place that did have a stamp was accepting cash only. They weren't accepting credit or debit cards. And you know, I thought about taking the dollar or two that was on the counter, you know, at home, but it wasn't mine. So long story short, I go to another store and I'm like, all right, so this store, I'm sure, hopefully will have a stamp, and I'll have to, you know, buy a few things that I kind of need anyway to get like the whatever the minimum is on the credit card. And I'm explaining to the woman, like, what's the minimum? Now, I don't know if she's not really understanding me, but it sounds like she's trying to tell me, like, they don't accept cards, which I'm pretty sure isn't true, because I thought I saw something that said otherwise. But
Like
the
you thought
nice,
you saw a sign that said we accept Visa or whatever on the door?
yeah, something like that, or something about either a minimum, yeah, something that made me think that they accept it, like something about cash that seemed like it was in juxtaposition to credit or something. But the nice young gentleman on the side of me, before I even got into the whole, let me buy $5 worth of stuff so I can get this stamp, said, you know, that's all you're getting is a stamp? And I'm like, yeah. And he pulls out a buck and he's like, here you go.
Aww.
So he just
Oh,
gets it
that's
for me.
nice.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
So
I would have
got my
bought
stamp.
toilet paper or something.
Well, that's what I was going to
Buy.
get, that and gum. I mean, I was, you know, the same place that I got my stamp the other day, the little pharmacy, I went back there and I was ready. I'm looking for the, you know, the dentine. I've grabbed some toilet paper, and next thing you know, they don't have stamps. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I just got a stamp here the other day. And then I asked, well, you know, when are you going to have them? Like, I assume on Monday. And he's like, no, it's going to be like 7 to 10 days. I'm like, okay.
Maybe there's a stamp shortage.
Well, there's definitely something, because there were several stores that didn't have stamps. And the one guy who still had stamps was only accepting cash. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't, that's just like an interesting story to me too, because I never buy stamps from the bodega or from the store anymore, because the last time that I did, they sold me a fake stamp and my
Really?
grandma's birthday card got returned to me.
Oh, really?
Shit.
Like,
Yeah. I just go to the post office.
Yeah, I mean, that's, how close is your post office?
Well, actually, it's funny. I hadn't thought about that. I usually buy it from the post office near where I work, but
Okay.
but you haven't been to work physically.
right. But there is a post office like a couple blocks away from me.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking like you're talking like if you go to the post office, like like the one near Borough Hall or something?
Yes, that's right. That's the one that is exactly near where I work. There's another one. There's as far as where I live, there's one on the corner of Broadway and 193rd. So that's where I would go.
It really sucks about so I assume, like, when you looked at it again, like, do you remember seeing anything like, oh, okay, like, now I can tell that this was fake, or is it just like,
No,
you couldn't even
that's
tell?
the crazy part. I couldn't even tell. I was like, what the hell? And I felt like such an...
And it the return said something about, it wasn't just like it wasn't enough postage, or...
No, like they put a sticker on it that said stamp counterfeit or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And I was so embarrassed. I was like, and
Did you ever go back to that bodega again, or?
No, and I think they went out of business.
Wow.
I wonder why.
The other thing you have to watch out for...
It's like a chocolate store now.
The other thing you have to watch out for at bodegas is their batteries.
Oh, I've never bought batteries from the bodega. I go to Dwayne Reed for that.
Yeah. There's just... Yeah. That's just like, sometimes you just need a battery and there's not like a Dwayne Reed very close by.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as like the Dwayne Reed is like 2-3 blocks from my house. So
yeah.
And then there's one that's like 2-3 blocks from my work.
Oh yeah,
so
you're in Manhattan, right?
Well, yeah, but
Harlem.
Yeah, but even out in Queens, like where my school is located, it happens to be 2 blocks from a post office in one direction and 2 blocks from a Walgreens in the other.
Okay, yeah, Manhattan's like that too.
Well, it's because it's close to Jamaica Ave, and Jamaica Ave is like their 125th Street. It's like their main drag.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell, like, if you look at once you get used to it, you look at the batteries and, like, it'll be something weird. Like, the battery itself will look how it's supposed to, but the package will be, like, blank or something weird like that. Or vice versa, but I think it's usually the battery packs, like, have nothing on there. And then, because it doesn't last very long at all. Weird stuff.
Yeah.
So
I hope you get that resolved so you can go vote. I'm good.
Well, no, I got it resolved. The guy bought the stamp for me, and I put it on, and I threw it right in the mailbox. So this is the second time in a week that I've mailed my ballot. So hopefully it's the last time. Yeah. But it just reminds me that every time I go to vote, there's a problem, and this doesn't seem normal. But I'm wondering how many people are deterred from this kind of stuff, right? Because it's like,
I'm just gonna go vote in person. But
that's what
what a lot of people. That's what a lot of people say. But when I voted in person last time, I had problems. I did I mean, it happened to be early voting, which I don't think has anything to do with it. But I told you, like, they only printed out 1 sheet of paper instead of 2, and then I had to ask them like 4 times to print out the other sheet before they finally did. And they kept giving me all these excuses, like, oh, sometimes it's only 1 sheet. Depends on where you live. Depends on the year. Like, blah blah blah. And they finally gave me my 2 sheets, and they were like, oh, the printer ran out of paper. Here's your other sheet that you've been waiting for.
Makes it sound like they almost don't even want you to vote.
That's well, yeah. I mean, these people. I mean, it's like, who though, right? It's like the people, whatever entity runs your local district's, polling place, whether it's the block captains get a certain amount of funding, or however, like, the local politics works. Whatever it is, the system's not working very well at all. certainly not in my district. And
well,
yeah,
I know people who's like the poll workers were trying to tell who told me the poll workers were trying to tell them how to vote last
what do you mean,
time,
like
and they told,
how to vote, like who to vote for?
no, like how to vote as in who to vote for,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
which is
You don't
because
do that's illegal, and you don't do that.
supposedly, like they said, oh, just check every box down the Republican column or something like that, and like, and it was like old people, and you can't help but wonder like if they were trying to worm votes for Trump out, you know what I mean? Which is freaking pointless.
Where was this happening?
In East Harlem.
And you were there?
No, I heard it from somebody who went to go vote.
Oh my god.
Like that the polling place lady said, "Oh, now just check every box down the Republican row."
Oh shit.
And I feel like, gee, that person saying that must really not understand how the system works, because any attempts to get anybody to vote for a Republican in a national election, like anywhere in Harlem, is like futile. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily. Not
Yeah,
if it's people who don't know what they're doing.
yes, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think that these people knew what they were doing,
Oh.
because like there's no point to pushing Trump like in any of the election districts up here. Like legit 4 years ago, like in my election district, Jill Stein got more votes than Trump did.
Okay. But people who don't know, but people who aren't sure how to vote, I guess, but could still be manipulated into voting for.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm complaining about.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that I don't understand, like, that the people doing the manipulating must not know too much either, because like, what's the use? New York ain't gonna go for Trump anyway.
Wouldn't they still try? I don't know. Maybe.
Like, that's just me. Like, I feel like, although honest to God, I'm not gonna lie, honest to God, like, this time I'm just way too scared, like, to even think about risking it, even in New York.
Well, that's what I was gonna say was, I had this plan to vote like third party in New York, because I figured it was gonna go to Biden anyway. But then I looked at Howie Hawkins' website, and it was ridiculous. I was just like, I can't in good conscience vote for someone who, well, first of all, the website wasn't even up. It was like down for like maintenance. So then I had to go to his Facebook, and his Facebook was just like ridiculous. I was like, I've seen town council folks that have a better managed Facebook than this. I'm like, there's just no effort. It wasn't even serious. It was like a stupid meme, and then just like some random stuff. And I was like, I can't in good conscience like vote for someone who put this minimal amount of effort in.
And then, I mean, I don't know about, as far as voting third party, like, I don't know about, like, obviously I can't speak for you, but like, I don't agree with like a fair amount of Joe Jorgensen's points. So I wouldn't.
I feel like this. Okay, if that's who it is, I feel like there is no third party person worth voting for this time.
The Libertarian Party?
No, of course I wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
no. When I say
you would
third
rather
party,
vote for Biden than them.
Yeah, well, no, this was the Green Party. I would not vote for a Libertarian. But it was the Green Party.
That's what I'm saying, is like, you still wouldn't like be so adamant about voting for a third party that you would vote for a Libertarian that you didn't agree with.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. No, I mean, in the primary, I still voted for Bernie.
I mean, I voted for Bernie even though there was no point to vote for Bernie. Or not even no point to vote for Bernie, but like no chance. What I mean is no chance of him actually getting the nomination. It was more for like the purpose of like him getting delegates to push the platform.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, but at the same time, like now, like I feel like even in New York, people think I'm crazy for this, but even in New York, I worry too much about like Trump winning New York to risk a mail-in ballot or risk like a third-party vote at this point.
I don't see Trump taking New York. If he couldn't do it, if he couldn't do it when he was running against Hillary, I don't see him doing it now. Although maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it's the other way around because Hillary was at least still doing stuff in New York. I don't know.
I think it is dangerous how fearful people are of the mail-in or absentee ballots. I think it gives him an advantage of people just not taking advantage of that way of voting for some people who, you know, can't get out otherwise, or just like, I don't know, when there's like a good absentee ballot program, it can go like pretty well.
I mean, here's the thing is like, I would agree with like my mom voting absentee because, for example, because like she's 67 years old. She's at a higher risk of like complications from COVID. But like, and honestly, I would trust her voting absentee. I just like, it's more for me, it's a sense of like, it's like a risk assessment thing, like that I personally feel like that the way the postal service is, the risk of voting by mail like outweighs the risk of contracting COVID at the polling place, especially if I go early.
You mean the way the postal system is now, or what do you mean?
Like the way the postal system is with like all of like the defunding and like the fact that they're, honest to God, even before the current postmaster, they were freaking incompetent in my neighborhood. The post office, like it's to me the risk of my ballot getting lost in the mail seems higher than the risk of me catching COVID at the polls. So I would, especially knowing that I've already had it once, and while it does happen, it's very rare that people get it twice. Like, I don't know, I just feel like that I'm not in as high a risk of group as like somebody like, say, my mom. So I feel more comfortable voting in person. But if I felt like that the risk of COVID was too great, then yes, I would vote mail-in rather than not vote at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem when you're trying to encourage people that their vote counts and you're trying to like gather as many votes as possible, and then you yourself like run into, you know, issues like that. And it's like, look, I mean, there was one issue this time, you know, besides not being able to find stamps, you vote again, but I just have to wonder how many people
well, yeah, a lot of
be
people
deterred.
might have just said screw it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're getting at. Like,
yeah, that's certainly. I mean, last time I had a problem with my ballot. I mean, it was technically my fault because I didn't know how to do it. I just thought it was like more obvious than it was, like using both envelopes and signing and dating one. But then I just like zipped off to a early voting center as soon as possible. Then I dealt with them telling me I only needed one sheet of paper to vote. But yeah, hopefully, I mean, my wish is that so many people vote absentee ballot that he's like, discouraged before the actual election, and then also that it just really shrinks some of those lines for like people in some of those states like Kentucky where they had like 5-hour lines and like ridiculous lines for people voting, that kind of stuff doesn't happen and hurt and deter people.
I mean, yes, but I have a fear in the opposite end that like I almost wish fewer people would vote by mail, or that like to me I feel like that like I'm glad that the option is there to vote by mail, but like I would encourage voting in person if it's feasible, simply. And I understand, like some people are at high risk from COVID, some people don't have the time to wait in a line, et cetera, and that's why we have things like absentee ballots and early voting. Like Visha's dad voted absentee for like the last 10 years of his life because like his arthritis got so bad he couldn't wait in line. But like, and in this particular election, let me rephrase this, I'm not scared of absentee voting or mail-in voting in general. Like, I've definitely done it a few times. I mean, like, I voted absentee from college a couple times. Misha voted absentee the last presidential election because he was in Spain on election day.
Yeah.
But like, this time, I don't know. I feel like that, like, with the fact that Trump has installed his people to be in charge of the postal service, like, I fear that there's going to be some kind of corruption, like, related to mail-in ballots, like, with him trying to hide votes, like, mail-in votes for Biden, or him directing them to throw something away or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's this specific election where I'm like, you got to go in person if at all possible. Just because I don't trust Trump's campaign not to mess with the absentee ballots.
What about you, Sam?
What about me?
What about you?
I mean, I'm voting I am going to vote in person.
Okay. Have you ever done the early voting?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that I have. I think every time there's been an election. Oh no! I think I. Oh no! The first time I did. No, the first time.
That it was available.
The first time. Well, I think in 2000 that was the first year that I was eligible to vote. But I was away in college, so.
But that would be absentee ballot because early voting didn't exist in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then no, I never have.
Oh, okay.
I've never.
Well, it's cool. It's like the same. It's like you still go in person, but it's like a lot of people don't know about it, so there's often like no lines at all.
Yeah.
I did that for the primary.
Okay.
Went to an early voting center, no line. I was the only person there.
Oh wow! There you go.
I didn't get outvoted.
So yeah, no.
Misha and I were making the joke that we would go on my birthday to early vote as a birthday date, since there's not much else we can do.
I mean, sure. I mean, if you find that's something you want, that you enjoy.
I enjoy voting. I do it as often as possible.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, but otherwise, no, I've never done early voting. I've always been in town, available to vote, and there was nothing stopping me, I guess, from voting So I've always voted like on the day of. I just get up really, really early and just go.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm going to do in November.
Yeah, I mean, I voted. I remember I did that like the last presidential election. I got up and went and was there like relatively soon after the polls opened.
Yeah.
So that I could, because I still had to go to work.
Yep. Because election day is not a holiday. So.
But like, so. Well,
if they do your work, there is a law now that your work has to give you a certain amount of hours off so you can vote.
Yes.
Well, there is, but if I can get it out of the way, like without having to ask for that, I'd rather do that. But last time there were lines at 6 a.m. Like the last presidential election, like people here were not playing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's why we're encouraging folks to do the absentee ballot so they can escape those long lines.
Well, and I think like that, like there's a lot of people in my building like that I think might benefit from like, I mean, reassurance maybe, or help with voting by mail because I've run into like a fair amount of people in the elevator and stuff in my building who like complain about Trump, but they also say they've barely left their house in months because of the COVID.
Right.
And usually in the same breath, then they blame Trump for the COVID.
That's what's good about some of those really big buildings, especially that have a lot of older folks in it. They can just like vote in their building, like in the lobby of their building.
Well, yeah, I mean my polling place, it's not my building, but like my polling place is actually the lobby of a project building.
How far away?
It's 6 blocks from me.
Okay.
But like for the people who live like in that group of projects, like there's like it's very convenient for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my polling place is a school. So, but listen, yeah, go out, get out and
my
go.
brother's is a school too, because he has a school on his block.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully there'll be a big turnout, and hopefully this will give people a reason to turn out.
I hope so. It's been really alarming seeing all these mailboxes taken away. It's been frustrating.
Yeah, that's my fear.
It's frustrating. Also, especially now, it's really annoying because the mailbox that used to be like in front of my apartment building is gone now, and that just annoys me on multiple.
What do you mean they're taking away mailboxes? Oh, as part of the defunding the post office?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and part of it was because, part of it is that there's definitely been fewer, like, old-fashioned mailings than there used to be because a lot of people just do email now. But on top of that, that's been happening a lot too. And I think there was part of it was legitimately that, but then the other part I think is also that whatever Trump is up to in terms of attempting to dissuade people from doing mail-ins, and that just frustrates me on even a simpler level because now it's just harder for me to like put my rent check in the mail.
Right.
But there's no way for you to pay your rent online or anything like that because a lot of landlords are doing that now. Mine
aren't. Mine are very.
Oh wow, they're old school.
I know they're old school. I love my landlord. I love my landlords. They're wonderful, and they don't. I asked them if I could do that, and they said no because they're trying to follow the letter of the law. My brother and they're also trying to have a paper trail for their own reasons too. Just to cover their butt. So just
because my management company has their own website that they take online rent payments from, and I guess maybe they have that would be their proof if they needed a paper trail.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like his folks are just his landlords are just super old school because there's
We're-
definitely a paper trail.
yeah,
There's definitely like management,
but I have
whatever.
yeah, they are old school, but I have no complaints about them. They're
Well, no, I mean,
I've never this is the best place I've ever lived in, so I'm
just wondering, like, what like legal stuff are they concerned about, like with
I don't really
paying
I don't
rent
know.
online?
I don't remember what they said, and my brother actually, when I told them what they did say, he kind of like raised an eyebrow about that. He said, but I don't even remember. And the email I wrote them was 6 months ago because it was when I just first started, when the pandemic first started. And I asked them, I didn't even want to leave my apartment. I didn't want to drop anything off in the mail. So I said, is there any way that I can just, wire you the money? And they said, unfortunately, no. And they understood my concern, and that they themselves were actually, opening all their rent check mail envelopes with gloves. But
And a letter opener.
yeah, a letter opener. But nevertheless, for whatever reason, they were still doing it that way. I'm not exactly sure what legal reasons they gave. I don't
But
remember.
in other words, because Matthew raised an eyebrow, my landlord probably isn't doing anything wrong.
Yeah, I don't think your landlord's doing anything wrong. I have paid the last place that I lived. My landladies actually preferred getting paid electronically because it was faster, and I actually agreed with that. I would rather do that because that way, there are situations like right now where I kind of feel that I'm in limbo a little bit because I'm waiting for my rent check to clear. So I don't feel comfortable spending too much on paying my other bills yet because I'm still waiting for the rent check.
Because you don't want to run out of money.
Right. So I like the fact that I can pay them electronically sometimes because then I know that it's cleared right away. So I don't have to worry about anything else. I'd rather do that, but it's not what they want to do. So what am I going to do?
I'm just laughing about when you said that they were opening everything with gloves because that just reminded me of the fact that even pre-pandemic, it's actually the most hilarious thing ever to see. Misha has an OCD thing with always having to open a letter with a letter opener, even if it's junk mail.
That's so funny.
It's his biggest pet peeve, to open a letter the way I do, just ripping it open, and it'll be the most hilarious thing ever because he'll get something that's clearly junk mail that he'll want to be sure that it's not junk mail, and he just goes and says, well, let me get my letter opener so we can make sure that this isn't important.
That's funny.
I'm I feel like I'm in some old-fashioned black and white movie.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It makes me think of it makes me feel like a 1950s science fiction movie or something with scientists in a lab that are trying to avoid catching anthrax or something. Or not. So I just jumped through two different time periods, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's just the most hilarious thing where he's ever, where he's just wait, don't rip into this yet. Let me get my letter opener.
Yeah, I know. But now we are almost, I made jokes when this whole thing started that we were all living in 12 monkeys. And I regret that now. It may have been, I don't regret it. It may have been in poor taste, but I stand by the jokes that I made.
Has anyone seen the movie Contagious since this whole thing started?
No,
no, that would give me nightmares.
No, why would I?
Had you seen it before?
No. Is that the one
I think I got the point.
Is that
is it Contagion or Contagious?
Contagion.
It's
Contagion. Oh, Contagion. Yeah, Contagion.
Yeah, no, and I do remember that when this whole thing started, that one was available online to watch, and so was Outbreak, and I'm like, really?
You people are not being very sensitive here.
I mean, well, yeah.
Contagion is scarily on point.
Yeah.
like down to the details.
So I mean, somebody had someone in the programming department had a sick sense of humor. But,
or maybe they were trying to help people.
I mean, yeah, it's not a documentary though. But yeah.
Well, it's pretty darn close.
More than likely, they just thought they were being funny.
Yeah, well,
that would have been my guess. But yeah, you never know. But no, I have seen Outbreak. I have not seen Contagion.
what about Utopia?
Utopia?
Utopia's a show. They took it from. It was originally a British show.
Is that the one that Zendaya just won the Emmy for?
Oh, I don't know.
Is she in it?
Who?
Zendaya?
Who is that again?
The girl from the Disney Channel, like the girl who played Peter Parker's girlfriend in one of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm mistaken. Okay. Sorry. She won. Her show is called Euphoria.
Oh, okay.
So it's not the same. Okay,
Close enough.
That was, yeah.
Utopia has something to do with a pandemic, and it's interesting. But there's a disclaimer at the beginning of the show that the show has nothing to do with what's going on now, because they don't want conspiracy theorists messing around.
Yeah, I'm not really. Yeah, I don't particularly feel like watching anything pandemic related while we're in the middle of one.
Well, it's not. It's different. It's like, it's a whole thing. There's this whole comic book, and there's people in the middle of it, and John Cusack plays a character that is like not who he appears to be, and it's interesting. The pandemic part of it is only a part of it. It's an interesting show.
Okay. I'll think about it.
And it's got, whatchamacallit, what's the other? It's got Rainn Wilson in it.
Dwight from The Office?
Yeah. Yep. It's got some interesting people.
Sheesh, where is everybody today?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm not saying that it isn't interesting. I just don't know if it's going to be something that I start watching. Just because if there's a disclaimer at the beginning talking about how it has nothing to do with what's currently happening, I don't feel like that's necessarily something that I would
Sounds
want.
like the disclaimer from like at the beginning of South Park that's like, this should not be watched by anybody.
Oh, was that one of the original disclaimers?
Yeah, well, you know the slide that like they start every episode with South Park, then it's like where it says like, caution, this contains like
for mature audiences. Yeah,
intended for mature audiences. This shouldn't be watched by anybody. So the South Park pandemic episode was basically like had that disclaimer, and then at the end said, if you watch this, you may catch COVID-19.
Okay, ha ha ha. Yes, I think the difference there is that I would probably be able to handle that better because
we all know South Park is supposed to be absurdist.
Well, not only that, but it's entirely made out of animated paper cutouts, so it's a little easier to distance yourself from it.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
And not feel like you're watching, yeah. So,
although I always felt like Stan's parents on South Park looked like my parents, and that would freak me out. Like, I always thought Stan's parents looked like cartoon versions of my parents.
Oh, well, that's all right.
That kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, I can understand why that would, and why I always, and of course, me, why I would always sometimes get a little annoyed with Cartman for singing Kyle's mom's a bitch, even though Kyle's mom is a bitch. But
because wasn't that kind of intended to be like?
No, it wasn't. No. The song was not intended to be anti-Semitic at all. I was just I always just felt protective and defensive because, the characters are Jewish. And so even though, again, Kyle's...
Cartman is kind of a dick to Kyle about being Jewish.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, no, I mean, when but again, it's all satirical. They're not really anti-Semitic. When, and that's obvious. I mean, especially in the movie when...
Well, I mean, Matt Stone is Jewish. Like, Kyle is based off of him.
They're not actually expressing anti-Semitic viewpoints, but they are making fun of them, and they're also just making fun of political correctness and oversensitivity in general. So I don't find anything like objectionable about that. But again, but I do crack up when Mr. Garrison, when Cartman calls Kyle an effing Jew in class, and then Mr. Garrison says, "Did you just say the F word?" And he says Jew. So that always cracks, and I thought it was hysterical. So, it's satire though. I mean, that's what I mean. Like, I wouldn't be offended by it. That was my point.
Yeah, and that was your long-winded point that the whole thing
was
like,
extremely
is
long-winded.
satire.
I'm gonna get some more water because of how much I talked.
It's kind of funny. It took me a while to catch on to that show because the voices were so annoying to me at first.
Yeah, I could see that. The voices can be kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they were like pissed at Michael Moore?
What were they pissed at him? I don't remember what they were pissed at him for. Though.
Do you remember that, Sam, when they were pissed at Michael Moore?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do.
He had a was it which one was it? Was it which movie was it? Did he like kind of take the likeness of their
I don't know
characters?
that I don't think he took that Michael Moore did something to them.
Well, wasn't it like
I think they were upset with him because they went to Columbine High School.
No, there was something in one of his, like, I think, Bowling for Columbine, where he's got these like cartoon characters that look
I remember.
That look very much like those guys did it, and so people were kind of giving them credit, like, oh, these guys, that's cool, they like helped out in Michael Moore's movie, and then they were like, no, we didn't. He like basically like plagiarized us, like for his movie.
I did, watching that little cartoon segment, I never felt like there was a similarity, I mean.
Really? You didn't think that's interesting, because I just automatically assumed, well, what is it? Does he mention them? Okay, it's something weird, like he mentions them.
I also think he interviewed them for Bowling for Columbine.
Well, no, I think that's where the confusion was. Like, he interviews them, and then right after that, he shows this cartoon. So you assume that cartoon that is very much in the style of what they do is done by them.
Oh.
And so then they like come out pissed, like, yeah, that wasn't us. Like, he just, he just did that. It's been a while, so.
Oh, that's interesting. No, I didn't think that cartoon looked like a South Park thing at all. But, yeah. But that's an interesting point of view. I hadn't thought of that before. So, yeah. So I didn't know if maybe that's the reason why they were. I never thought that might have been the reason why they were upset. Because I always thought that they were upset at Michael Moore for a different reason. And then they lambasted him in their next movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And what movie did they lambaste
that was Team
him
America.
in?
They lambasted.
Oh, in Team America, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's so that's interesting. No, that one never occurred to me. That never occurred to me that that they were upset with Michael Moore for that. I never, for like ripping off their style. That never occurred to me because I didn't associate. I didn't like put two and two together that way. I didn't like that cartoon with their style. But I always thought it was because they felt like he misrepresented what they were saying and the school.
Oh, yep. So yep, it's right here. It's that's exactly what I said.
Oh.
This time his crime was a quirk of misleading editing. He played a South Park-style cartoon directly after the clip of Stone, leading many people to assume that the South Park duo was behind it.
This time it's serious.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like a tagline for an action film. This time it's personal.
Yeah.
It's always personal with me.
Yeah. So that's very interesting. So yeah, then so that explains why they got so mad at him and why they really ripped him a new one in Team America or like attempted to anyway. Yeah. So okay.
Whoa. Those guys are worth a shit ton of money.
Who, Matt Stone and Trey Parker?
Yeah. Guess how much they're worth.
$50 million. How
much? You said 15?
50. 50.
And how much do you guess, Sam?
For me?
Yeah.
That seems reasonable. I would guess that too.
Today, Matt Stone has a net worth of $700 million. Trey Parker has a net worth of $600 million.
Oh my God, that's way above what we thought.
All right.
They earn millions from digital ad revenue, whatever that means.
Time to get off our asses.
I know, right?
Seriously.
What am I doing teaching kids?
Yeah, we're not doing enough with our lives.
And so last year, they earned $250 million thanks to a brilliant loophole in their original contract.
What?
Let's see if I can quickly get to what this loophole was. Something to do with geosites? Wait. The new contract allowed them to create a digital hub for everything South Park, including streaming episodes. And streaming wasn't really a thing yet in 2007. The most important part of the contract was that it gave the creators of South Park 50% of all ad revenue generated by the show, whether that is broadcast or digital. As a result of this, Stone and Parker earned between 25 to 30 million per year each just from the Comedy Central broadcast of the show. Every time the show is sold into syndication, they get 50% or 25% each.
Oh my God. And isn't the show still on the air? Like putting out.
Oh yeah. They just started their most recent season.
It sounds like to me, they were just like really ahead of the curve and they probably were like giggling and laughing when they got this contract and the people on the other side of the bargaining table were probably laughing, like screaming, "What are you talking about? That's going to earn you like a couple $100,000 here or there." People probably didn't realize what it was, and these guys, being like as smart as they were, probably knew where stuff was headed.
Yeah,
you got to do something like that, Sam. You got to do something. You got to think of something like that.
I know, it's all on me.
It's all your fault, Sam.
No, I know. I'm the one. Yeah, I'm the one with the. I'm the one. Yes, I know. I'm the one with like the. I know. I'm the one. Yes, I know. I get it. It's all right. I know. No, it's okay. I was always the genius when I was a kid too. Everyone's expecting me to be the one to pull it off. So
see, my only idea is animating our podcast. But I'm sure you have a better idea than
I'll
that.
get to work. I'll think of something. It's all about marketing and coming up with.
Why don't we could ask Tarek to draw us?
What are you gonna do? Rotoscope it?
Oh, that sounds cool, actually.
Yeah, we could rotoscope it. Well, no, actually, people might get Well, it seems cool. People get tired of watching that after a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that's all right. It's a good. Yeah, so that would be interesting. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No. I mean, it's. I gotta listen. I gotta put this. I gotta put this old noggin to work.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, man.
You know.
Come on, man. Get it together.
No, seriously. Yeah. Well, I'll make. Yeah. I want to make some. I want to make something fly. I do.
Word.
I'm 39 years old. I gotta, and I just have to get back in touch and figure out what the heck it is.
Right. For real. For sure.
Yeah.
Hi.
I'm actually being serious right now. Y'all, you might think I know you're all joking with me, but
Well, no, I mean, I'm definitely serious about business. I mean, I told Ish, like me, Ish, and another friend of ours, Dwayne, I was like, we should form a, what do you call those?
I want to be rich. Like, I really do. So, yeah.
You should,
everybody want
maybe
that?
maybe you should join our, what is it, our what do you call those talking? What do you call those when you make money, like voiceover? You should join our like voiceover, our voiceover / voice acting business.
I should send Misha.
All right. Really? I can do voices.
I noticed. Yeah, I noticed.
I should send Misha. Misha imitates the Telemundo guy. He imitates the movie guy who says, "In a world where blah blah blah."
I've heard him do that. It's really good. I've heard him.
Yeah, I think Emily. I think your voice would be. I think you could do something with your voice too.
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe I could do Cartman.
Yeah, but see, I don't think you have to like do a weird. Like, I think your voice as it is. I think you can do stuff with your voice, right? Like if you. I don't know. It's all about just having a voice that's like either interesting or different or able to like emote,
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
I always thought of you as more of a Lisa Simpson, but
well, see, I was thinking something like that. Well, I was thinking something like that because no, I was definitely thinking something like that on the animated tip because like me and Ish were talking about how women often play like young boys in like the animated world.
Yeah, the voice of Bart Simpson is a woman.
Yeah, and the voice of the little guy in the Boondocks is a woman as well.
Oh. Didn't that show just get canceled, or was it just 3 episodes?
No, it might have gotten canceled, or I know they were talking about it.
I'm still annoyed that like people are so oversensitive now. Like they pulled the blackface episode of 30 Rock from reruns, which is one of my favorite episodes of the show because it's
really?
And the Golden Girls where they're doing like the face mask on their face.
Yeah.
Really? Oh man. I mean, Boondocks definitely had some episodes. I think didn't they pull the Tyler Perry episodes? I think the Boondocks.
I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah, maybe. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I'm always down to be creative and make money at the same time. So if you have any ideas, let's flush them out, or let's juice them.
Thinking about what I would do with $600 million. Yeah.
Well, that's definitely a lot of money. You could definitely could fund something like a little studio or something, a little independent.
Feed all the starving children in Africa.
No, I mean, I was definitely thinking about doing my part to end world hunger with that money, but I also want to have some fun with it.
Yeah, you could do a little studio, or maybe do a little record label. If I don't know if those things make money anymore. What else could you do with $600 million? You could fund like a campaign, get like a good, if you have like a good quality candidate that you think is gonna change the world or do good things, you could definitely, fund their campaign, get someone good elected.
No, you could fund my presidential campaign.
I would rather if I had all that money, I would actually make my own efforts towards making the world a better place, rather than funding the campaign of a politician who would promise to do so and then inevitably not do it. So I would rather.
I just said my presidential campaign.
I wasn't talking about you.
I know. I'm kidding.
I know. Well, actually, no. I would have to help my brother's presidential campaign out first, but then you would be after that. You would be next after that.
I'm running on the teachers against police brutality line.
Okay.
That's a good one.
What about the rent is too damn high? Can you, or
oh my God, do you remember when Kenan
Thompson? Pants on the ground. What about that guy?
Do you remember when Kenan Thompson used to impersonate the rent is too damn high guy on Saturday Night Live? It's freaking hilarious.
Oh, speaking of Kenan Thompson, I watched, don't shoot me for this one. I watched Adam Sandler's new Halloween special recently. It's got everyone in it.
Yeah, I won't shoot you for that.
It's been a while since I've watched an Adam Sandler film, except for that Hidden Gems movie.
Oh yeah, he normally drives me nuts too. I didn't see the Gems movie. What did you think?
I mean, it was good. It was just annoying that like all these people are like, oh, he didn't win an Oscar for that movie. They just don't like Adam Sandler. And I'm like, listen, Adam Sandler, first of all.
Maybe he just sucks.
Well, here's the thing. Adam Sandler has made a lot of shitty movies. Let's just put that on the table. He's made a lot of shitty movies. This movie was not a shitty movie. It wasn't. And that's good. But to like all of a sudden be like, oh, he deserves an Oscar. Like that's not.
We're finally not making a shitty movie.
Yeah, it's just not how it works. I mean, the Denzels of the world have like, only gotten like one Oscar. I mean, there are people who haven't gotten Oscars. So like, you can't just like.
Denzel has two. So.
He has two? One for Glory and one for.
Yeah.
One for Training Day?
One for Glory and one for Training Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's just like this uproar of like, oh, he deserves an Oscar. Why didn't he get one? It's like, slow your roll. Like, he finally made, a decent movie. Maybe even a good movie, but let's not get too excited. That being said, it was a fun movie to watch on a Thursday night.
It was a genre. Yeah, it was a genre flick, and I heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I might check it out, but I don't know. But nevertheless, yeah. So you watched the Halloween special. A lot of people were in it, right?
Yeah. A lot of people were in it. It's kind of funny. The what's that guy's name? Kevin. What was it? The King of Queens guy?
Kevin James.
Yeah, Kevin James. The character that he played, when I was looking at his beard and mustache, I kept thinking the guy from The Big Lebowski. But I was like, no, that's not him.
Which one? John Goodman?
No. The main guy.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, I kept thinking Jeff Bridges, the
Oh, I
way
love
his like
Jeff
bearded
Bridges.
mustache looked,
Jeff Bridges is so cool.
but it was Kevin. It was Kevin James.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges is so cool.
Yeah.
Kevin James is not as cool as Jeff Bridges.
No, definitely not. But it was almost like, I wonder if this is supposed to be like a broke version of Jeff Bridges.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. No, I haven't seen that either. Yeah. No, but they're really good friends though, Adam Sandler and Kevin James. So.
Oh, are they? Yeah, he's friends with a lot of people. He's that guy's rich. That guy, Adam Sandler's filthy rich.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him, but he seems to be very well liked. A lot of people seem to like him. So.
Yeah, he's I think he's really good to his friends, and he's very loyal and very faithful. So you'll notice like Rob Schneider has been in all those movies all those years, and like
like a person, yeah. He always like whenever I've seen, he's won like a lot of like those teen awards and stuff like that, MTV Movie Awards, and whenever he does, he's like, he always says like these really hilarious, awesome, nice things about his parents. Yeah. So I always get the feeling that like he was like raised right, and he seems to be like a good person. So that's cool. Yeah. But I mean, his sense of humor.
Like toilet humor.
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends on how it's done. And
it's kind of like he never grew up, right? Like.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's like 1 or 2 movies of his that I enjoyed, but the rest of them are like.
Yeah.
It's like the kid who never grew up who's getting paid for it, right? Like he's
exactly.
Taking that all the way to the bank.
Yeah, I need to eat something. Give me a sec. I'm hungry.
You know what was funny was like for all of his weird movies and his movies that just have that same weird humor where he's playing that same character, of all of his movies, for some reason I like Little Nicky.
That's funny. I don't think I've seen that one, but I know of it though.
I would check that out. There's something like there's something that worked about that movie.
Cool.
And then of course there's Punch Drunk Love, which was like the movie that surprised everyone. What about your guy? When's your guy making another movie?
I thought The Wedding Singer was cute.
Oh yeah, no, The Wedding Singer was great. Yeah, The Wedding Singer was great. Your favorite?
Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
He wrote Clerks 3. I'm not sure when they're going to start filming it, but I think that's a go to make a third Clerks.
3. Did I even know when did Clerks 2 come out?
2006.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he made a sequel to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. It came out last year.
That one, I always have a sentimental soft spot for Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back because I'm a big fan of the Scream movies, so I just love the fact that they had like a little Wes Craven cameo in there and made fun of the Scream movies by making the killer a monkey. I thought that was really.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was really cute. Yeah.
Wait, so part 2 came out last year?
Yeah, part 2 came out last year, where basically it turns out, because you know how in part 1 of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, how basically Jay gets together with Shannon Elizabeth's character.
Okay.
In number 3?
In Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
In the first one, yeah.
In the first one. In the second one, which is like, it came out in 2019, which is exactly 18 years after the first Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back came out. Jay finds out that he has an 18-year-old daughter with that Shannon Elizabeth character.
Oh my God.
That he hooked up with in the first movie. And
Snoochie Boochies.
And the daughter is played by Kevin Smith's actual daughter.
So Kevin Smith's daughter is playing the daughter of the character that Jason Mewes plays?
Yes.
Okay.
Kevin Smith's daughter was playing the daughter of Jason Mewes and Shannon Elizabeth, supposedly. And Shannon Elizabeth's character turned out to be bisexual and ended up marrying
Of course she did.
a woman played by Rosario Dawson.
Of course.
You know, I started watching. Shit, what is it? The Keanu Reeves movie where they have to like go back and save the world.
Speed?
Yeah, Bill and Ted. Yeah, I started watching Bill and Ted 3. It was like decent. It was like a fun kind of watch. I didn't finish it though.
Why did you start meditating in the middle of it?
I may have been tired. We've had stuff going on. It was decent. It wasn't anything like horrible or anything like mind blowing, but probably pretty hard to capture the original magic. That movie.
Yeah. Keanu Reeves, I feel like Keanu Reeves, like no one ever. He just has. I don't know. It's just like he's very cool. Like he was never a great actor, but there's just something about him that makes you want to like hang out with him, and, like
right?
Chill with him. So
yeah,
and I feel like he's gotten, and I feel like that's really given it like so good for him on that because I feel like that's really made his career. That and like a few like legitimately like good movies.
Right.
Like Speed is actually one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I should watch that again. It's been a while since I've seen
Yeah.
Speed. I should put that on my list.
That was just like that's like that's like the perfect. That's like one of the perfect summer movies. It's just like great, like a shot of adrenaline, just awesome action.
Yeah.
With Dennis Hopper doing his Dennis Hopper thing, going all crazy. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Have you been watching Lovecraft?
Hmm?
Have you been watching Lovecraft?
No.
I've had too many sports going on to watch much of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Lovecraft's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm going to Google that right now while we're talking because I know people are talking about it, but I haven't. I'm very, very selective about what I watch right now because since all of our, interaction is limited, there's not enough chance to like be around people and get like enough of the pick-me-up that I would need. So I don't want to watch anything that'll be.
You don't want to watch anything too depressing?
Yeah.
No, I definitely got you on that. That's definitely smart. I definitely will go through phases where I'll be like, no, not gonna watch that, not gonna watch that.
So it's got Jussie Smollett's kid sister.
Oh, Janae Smollett?
Yep. I recognize a lot of these names actually. Ingenue Ellis, Courtney B. Vance.
What's this Lovecraft you're looking at?
Yeah. Omar. They have Omar.
They got Omar.
Yep.
Michael K. Williams.
Yep.
Who was supposed to play ODB in a biopic, but I think something happened. I think he would have killed. I think he would have killed that role.
I think the guy does a pretty good job actually. Who does it on the Hulu show?
Oh, that guy's incredible. Yeah, he's like he's from Philly. That guy. Yeah, he's incredible.
I'm still waiting for that Janis Joplin biopic, but that's looking less and less likely. But I hear you. The ODB biopic, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
The ODB in general is just interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is okay. So it's American Horror Television Series. Okay. Yeah. So I'll think about it. I'll watch.
So do you know anything about H.P. Lovecraft at all?
What, you? Me, you?
Oh,
or the general you?
Sam.
Do I know anything about him?
Yeah. The author?
I mean, I know that he's responsible for Cthulhu, but like I don't know. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with his like political stances or anything like that. I know he was a huge science fiction author.
Okay. What about you, Emily? Do you know anything about him?
No, I mean, like I said, I've barely been watching television because there's been so much sports
So
to watch.
the deal with H.P. Lovecraft, like you said, Sam, he's responsible for these huge sci-fi, for these iconic sci-fi works, but he was also known as a pretty big racist. So what they've done here with this show is they've kind of mixed themes of sci-fi and then like race, and kind of like turned his like racism on its head.
I get it. So he was really racist. They made a show with his name in the title and populated with all black people. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, with that, and then also, there's like themes of racism in the show that the characters have to overcome and stuff like that, and like, monsters, and then are they like literal monsters, or
that's cool.
Is there a figurative aspect to it? So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's always difficult to reconcile when someone whose works you really like, then it turns out the person is not like, has said some mean things. Like, I think it's always really hard for me to like reconcile the fact like Roald Dahl, like with the fact that he was like a raging anti-Semite.
Okay.
So,
he was? I didn't know that.
If you Google him and start like say, if you just Google him.
Something new every day.
And he's Where the Wild Things Are?
No, he did.
That's Maurice Sendak.
Okay.
Factory.
Oh, right.
Willy Wonka. He did like The Witches and Matilda and James and the Giant Peach and like all these like wonderful, wonderful children's books. And then if you Google Roald Dahl anti-Semite, you will see some pretty horrible things they said. So yeah, it's not easy. Like people are like flawed human beings, and then you have to draw a line like where, well, do you still enjoy these things for what they are? And
Sure.
As far as I know, he didn't kill anybody.
Right.
So, but at the same time,
well, it's like separating the art from the artist.
He was a bigot. So
yeah,
he was an unapologetic double down on that bigot like Lovecraft. So
yeah, or like
Orson Scott Card.
What's that?
Orson Scott Card, Ender's Game.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, what's his name from the Smiths?
Morrissey. Is he a bigot? I know he's.
Yeah, he's a very. Ethnocentric would be probably a kind way of putting it, but yeah, he's always like, he's against like outsiders.
Oh, he's anti-immigrant.
Yeah, I think it'd make it deeper. It'd make it deeper than that. Right. But yeah, he's certainly like people do not like Morrissey for his like racist bents.
Yeah. I heard. Yeah. I've never delved too deeply into it. Like I like, obviously the Smiths made great music and he's got a good solo career. I'm not as familiar with his solo stuff, but
yeah, so this headline from September 4th of last year says Big Mouth strikes again. Morrissey's racist rhetoric inspires boycott ahead of Merriweather post-pavilion show.
Oh shit.
That doesn't sound good.
He's become known for comments that speak to the British far right.
Oh man.
Alienating others with racist behavior and statements that threaten his legacy. To opponents of Muslim immigration and to those that agree with this assertion that Chinese people are a subspecies.
Oh shit. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's
And he got.
Oh, that's bad.
He prompted a boycott from the Council on American Islamic Relations.
Wow.
Sheesh. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go, yeah, protests against Morsi's racist behavior go at least as far back as 1992, when members of the part British South Asian band Corner Shop burned his picture outside his then label EMI's offices. Back then, the critiques largely focused on his use of nationalist imagery, including performing draped in a Union Jack that were associated with the country's far right.
The Union Jack is just the UK flag, but all right. Yeah.
Hang on.
Okay. If he's saying like Chinese people are a subspecies, that's just nasty. All right. All right. He needs. I don't know what's going on with that. He needs to get it together.
Yes. So they're saying that like some of the images and symbols he were using aren't really known like here in America. They're not legible here in America. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the Union Jack thing has a different connotation the way he was using it.
Yeah, whatever it is that he's up to, it's obviously not good. So he's obviously saying horrible things about like not people. So yeah, that's too bad. But it's too bad for him.
Yep.
So that's unfortunate. Well, all right. Well, yeah. So that's he's another one of those figures where if you like his artistry, you will have trouble reconciling that with some of the horrible things that he says. So
there's a lot of that, there's a lot of that though. Like,
he's probably the biggest example of that right now.
Who?
J.K. Rowling is probably the biggest example of that right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. So you can, that becomes so I guess it's just a question of whether you feel you should no longer associate yourself or take enjoyment with anything they do and just cancel them, depending on what they say. You know what I mean? Depending on what they say. I don't know. Sometimes what they say is really horrible, and then you just
it's not or what they do, and it's not excusable.
Yeah, but it's one thing for politicians. It's another thing, but people who create art frequently touch people's lives. So, when that happened, yeah, I don't know. It's a moral, it's a moral dilemma that I think it's one that's put upon the public, and it's really I almost feel like part of it is like, who are we to even say what to do, because we weren't there, especially in instances where,
like he said, she said, stuff with celebrities.
The person in question is accused of being a predator, and in that case, if there are enough people, you always have a tendency to side with the people who are claiming to have been, assaulted, and in that case, they should be canceled. And then you just have to reconcile that and put your feelings about whatever that person did aside, and just, I don't know, just, what's the expression? You have to kill your darlings in order to grow, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends on the magnitude of what people say. And so I guess, honestly,
I'm very controversial about it, but I stand by the fact that when someone claims to be victimized, like trust but verify or listen but verify.
Yeah. I personally feel that I'm not comfortable yet taking a stance that anyone who says something unkind towards a group of people should automatically be canceled permanently.
I mean, I'm just against like cancel culture in general because I feel like it disallows people to make mistakes.
Yeah, we've talked about this too. Yeah. Well, that sucks. But in any way, that's really cool. What the show Lovecraft Country is up to. Then I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that's like a way of like fighting back.
Yeah, for sure.
And just being like, like giving the jerk like a giant middle finger. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I haven't seen that yet. Is it depressing? Because if it's depressing, I may pass. But I like that it's happening.
No, I don't. It's kind of exciting. I mean, it's a horror. It's like a horror.
I do like scary stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's scary. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's depressing.
All right, that's cool. I like scary. Yeah, I like scary stuff. So. Yeah. My brother's still mad at me for making him watch horror movies when he was a
kid. for making him watch horror movies?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Younger brother, I take it?
I didn't physically force him to, but I feel like I kind of like, I enjoyed them and I wanted him to enjoy them with me, and he says he still has like, I still can't play the Halloween theme song around him.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
exactly.
Dun,
yeah.
dun.
No, that's yeah. But
they used to. I remember they used to. This is kind of funny. They used to play that. There was a period of time, like I don't know, maybe about 10 years ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
There was a pitcher who temporarily pitched for the Yankees named Mike Myers, and they used to play the Halloween theme song whenever he came out to pitch.
It's funny.
I can't even send him like funny memes and stuff. Like I remember one time there was a they showed like the picture of like, you know, Michael in the first Halloween when Michael Myers is like hiding behind the bush and like peering out, and then like somebody put in the words like how your boss be looking at you when you don't look busy, and and I thought it was really funny, and I sent it to him and he just looked at me like this. So or now like the most recent one, he's like I'm still alive because I've been wearing a mask for 40 years.
That's hilarious. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So anyway, I do like scary stuff. I will it's on HBO, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I'll look into that. I'll look into that. I'm trying to stick to light art here right now, but I'll check it out.
Right. Are you watching the last season of what was the show we were talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, and I just started that. Well, I just started it before the debate came on.
Yeah.
So I'll have to finish it. But yeah, that's a really cute show.
What is this, like their 10th? No, not their 10th season, right? Or 6?
Yeah, it only went for 6 seasons.
6, okay.
That's a really cute show.
Yeah, all those actors are great.
Yep.
On that show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, I wonder when the person. Oh, what's his name? David. What's the one who did the
that guy who was in that movie with that other guy?
Exactly.
The dog. No, I always want to say Dog and Pony Show.
Best of Show.
Yeah, Best of Show.
Eugene Levy. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the director though.
Christopher Guest.
Yes, Christopher Guest.
What about him?
When's the last time he did a movie?
I don't know. That's a good point. Yeah. Right, because he did all like Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah.
And all those. Yeah.
Yeah, all those shows are great. All those movies, rather.
No, he didn't direct This Is Spinal Tap, but I think he co-wrote it, and he was in it.
Yeah, no, I think he directed that too.
No, that was actually Rob Reiner directed that.
Oh, you're right, Reiner. Yeah, okay. You're right. He wrote that. Yeah.
But these go to 11. Yeah. I know. I don't know what happened. Maybe he just got done.
Well, I feel like he takes his time between movies, you know.
Oh, and he's married to Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
I don't know if I knew that.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, from Halloween to Best in Show, all in one. So, yeah.
Did he actually do? Did he do Princess Bride too?
Did he?
He was in Princess Bride. He didn't.
Oh, okay.
He played the dude with 6 fingers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He killed Inigo Montoya's father.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yeah, that's a problem with Googling him. Is some of these come up that he's actually.
I heard they're making a sequel to that now too.
Really?
Yeah.
What, The Princess Bride?
Yep. I heard that.
Wow.
I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true.
Yes, Misha. Everybody needs to know The Princess Bride.
What did Misha have to say?
Misha said, "That's a great film. Everybody needs to know The Princess Bride."
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't know The Princess Bride you're way too young.
My favorite scene is without a doubt Billy Crystal and Carol Kane as those old hags. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
Man. All right.
All right, folks.
We're all good? We're all done?
Yeah. Good times.
All right. I hear you. Yeah, we ran out of stuff to talk about. We're like all kind of tired and wound down.
Yeah. But think about those business ideas for getting rich and changing the world.
I will. Yes, I will. And we got to get Cynthia so we can do My Cousin Vinny.
That's what I was gonna say.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm gonna say. It's a slow night. Everyone's absent.
Yeah.
I have to call their parents.
Word.
All right.
Okay. All right, folks. That's a wrap.
All right.